Stanford Internet Observatory not just finding that it's nearly 200,000 fake CCP accounts that are being used to influence international political points, whether it's the COVID-19, whether it's the Hong Kong democracy protests, whether it's President Trump here in the United States. It's also 150 times larger than the Russian bot army that we keep hearing about so much on CNN and MSNBC, but we still haven't seen any reaction from the establishment media of this. We've still seen no analysis from the establishment media about this, and I want to just throw it to you real quick, because there is inside the report, critical that people go into this and have a look, and we'll put it in our newsletter. Greg Mans does a wonderful job rounding up everything in the show notes on the website and in the newsletter. We'll put the whole report in there. But in the report, I want to read this to you. Summary, paragraph. By the way, page 1, paragraph 2, quote, this June 2020 PRC operation had considerable topical overlap with the August 19 operation, particularly concerning the pro-democracy movement in Hong Kong and attacks on Chinese billionaire Guo Wenji. Steve.
Look, this is the point. You've seen this now play out. We talked about this in March, but this goes back to last June and even before. I'm a free market guy. And people said, oh, Miles grow this, Miles grow that, Miles grow whatever. This is proof from Stanford University. And remember, Stanford is not Hillsdale College, right? It's not some conservative or right-wing college. It's Stanford University's report. And it goes through in very specific details. Raheem, I think there's, like 75 to 100 mentions of Miles Guo in the report. And the reason is that the Chinese Communist Party sees him as an enemy, sees him as someone that backs up free speech and liberty for the Chinese people and really for people all over the world. This is a coordinated attack. Russia is a sideshow. I have said that from the first day after we won in 2016. Russia is a sideshow. Ukraine's a sideshow to a sideshow. This is the main event. This is the main thing. 150 times more than Russia. You don't see the mainstream media talk about it. You know why you don't hear them talking about it? They're in business with them. The reason you don't see Disney, you don't see ABC, you don't see CNN, you don't see Time, the reason they don't mention the Chinese Communist Party is that they're in business with them, and they kowtow to them. And we don't, and that's why we're proud to be in business with Miles Guo. But you look at what Assam said back in March, and this goes back to where it goes back. Guess where it goes back to? It goes back to 4 June of last year when Miles Guo said, hey, the Hong Kong people are going to stand up and not buckle. They're not going to buckle on the suppression of the Chinese Communist Party. And that's when the Wu Mao army started going nuts on Miles Guo and all of his followers. These are devils. And what you're showing, you see this throughout the Antifa, all these groups are Marxist, communist groups. They're all working together. You see the vast scale that they've got. And that's why, Raheem, I'm very proud of what you have done on identifying this Wu Mao army. You and Posobiec own this story. And National Pulse is doing an incredible job. I saw today there was some summary of the news, and you guys were quoted as the people on top of this. So I think it's fantastic. We're going to be on this every day. Remember, social media is one of the biggest weapons in this information war. Information war, economic war, kinetic war. They're in a hot war with us on information, a hot war with us on economics. And if you don't believe they're in a hot war on information and culture, just look at what's happening in the streets of the United States of America. It's the French Revolution. It's the Cultural Revolution of the 60s. They've got the Red Guards out there, and we're going to expose this every day.
Steve, I want to just ask you this question as well, because Twitter is obviously, liable for some of what's been going on here. They have to take responsibility as a platform, as a publisher of the information that's been disseminated in the last couple of years, especially as this Wu Mao army has ramped up its operations. And there's also Turkish involvement here. Yes, there is also Russian involvement, but the CCP really, this report shows, has the most dedicated resources to impacting political narratives both domestically and internationally. The report goes into some detail. We'll have more details on it on the National Pulse later on today. But the report goes into some detail about where they're targeting, how they're targeting it. We've got a graphic that's going to be up on the screen in just a second to show people the infographic that's in the Stanford report so that they can get an idea of just what's going on here.